Hey there, and welcome to JT Picks. I've been trying to find somewhere comfy as an intro. I'm good with hey there, welcome to JT Picks, but I'm trying to figure out if I should call something like this news drop or if I should do New Music Friday or your Christian culture moment or I don't know. Y'all tell me what you think in the comments about that. But today I do have some news. I'm gonna have a little bit of discussion and so let's get right into it. First, Ty Brazel has come out with a brand new song featuring What Up RG and 1K Few, and it's good. Ty calls this trio the Blessed Trio, so that is what I refer to them as. The Blessed Trio, I love them together, obviously. Kung Fu, How We Comin', Now This, and I believe that they've done another song together, but, I'll forget it. And Ty Brazel has also announced a release date for it, too. The album will be called The Divine Storm, and it will be dropping May 1st. If you want more details, more of what he said about this, check his Instagram or Twitter or whatever. But yeah, there's that. So now let me just get to all the new stuff that's come out. We have a new Gavi song called Climate Change. The Ty Brazel, Joseph O'Brien, if you don't know, he was a Christian on America's Got Talent. He released 2 singles, and I actually like them. He dropped another one today. And let's see. I don't think there's anything else. Yeah, David Dunn, but that's the best song, and that one was a pre-release single. Okay, but I'm getting a little bit off track here. I really wanted to talk about Christian radio. You see, Gavi dropped a documentary, quote-unquote, about his album, really explaining how he feels about it, the meaning behind why he titled his album Heathen and all that stuff. And you know what? I think he did a great job of explaining it. It didn't really it wasn't what I thought it would be at first, because I thought he would say oh, people have called me a heathen just for being a little bit different, as in in the Christian culture with the sound and stuff. He really went to the point that technically we are all heathens because we're all Gentiles and, that stuff. But I'm not going to dive into his interpretation of that. What I'm going to dive into is a very important part of what he was talking about. He was talking about, though, how when he dropped We Belong and Panorama, he tried to please some people, right? He tried to get his songs played on radio. He tried to get Fight For Me played on radio. And he also tried to get, other songs on We Belong. He felt like it was very radio friendly. And honestly, it was. There were quite a few songs that I would say, yeah, they could totally be played on radio. I think Like We Belong could have been, a hit radio single, along with stuff like Closer. That definitely could have been one too. I've even heard Cumbia on. I think that could be one too. That would be a fun single. Or even Hold On, which is more of a worship style song that Gavi dropped. And Moments. But there are tons of songs that Gavi's released that he said that he's tried to make them radio. He was trying to please other people while putting a good sound out. And now, basically, that he's coming with Heathen, he's doing him, and he doesn't care what anybody else thinks. He will do the sound that sounds Heathen, regardless of whether it's radio ready or not. And you know what? I think this is a really good point, because Christian radio is very different. I'm 19, and when I was about 8 or 9, I grew up on Christian radio. So, it's to say that it's changed is an understatement. I remember listening to Christian radio all the time, specifically 88.1, and they would have things like Skillet all the time, Hero, Monster, Awake or Alive, songs that nowadays on the radio you wouldn't even fathom hearing, because now the only Skillet songs that they play is Lions or Stars. And no shade to those songs, obviously, they're in my library, I like those songs. But why can't they play Feel Invisible, The Resistance, or Back from the Dead? I mean, those are all Christian songs too. Well, it's just because, like Gavi was addressing, the sound of songs. Now we only get Zach, whatever his name is. Let's just go with other examples. Hillsong, Elevation Worship, Casting Crowns. And again, I honestly love Casting Crowns. But the biggest example just popped in my head. Lauren Stinkin' Daigle. Ugh. I'm sorry, I don't hate her. I don't hate her music. It's just, it's overplayed. And, Christian radio did that back then, but all radio does that. But that's not the problem. It's that Christian radio won't play anything that he said perfectly that is risky. When Gavi said that when it came to Fight For Me, some Christian radios wouldn't play that because it was technically too risky. And that really hit me. Because a lot of the times, these things are risky. To radio stations, at least. They go, well, you know what? Skillet came out with Back from the Dead, but Back of the Dead is too upbeat, too rock and roll-ish. It's not like Lions or Stars, where it's like a worship song, but, it's pretty soft, low tempo, and low key, so let's just stick with that instead. And you know what, that's a little bit discouraging, and I think that also Gavi hit it right on the head. Lots of artists, they don't produce what they want to produce because they're scared. They're scared to really show themselves. A great example of this I've seen is with Riley Clemens. I'm going to be honest, you know what? I don't know if she did this for this reason, but her debut album, self-titled, had songs like Remember, Hold On, Honest, You First. All of these are great songs. Broken Prayers is a good song too. But guess what? Broken Prayers, the softest song in the album, a piano ballad, it was the most played song on radio. Not her other stuff. Her other stuff wasn't playing on radio at all. And you know what? She continued and dropped Fighting For Me. Not this version. This is a remix I listened to. She released this, and it started playing on radio. It's not guitar. It's just very generic for Christian radio. And guess what? That's the one that got the most play. It got all over the radio. She's now not releasing anything like her other stuff. I mean, this song Over and Over is fine. Free is forgettable. But she kind of switched it up. And I honestly think it was for radio play, to be honest. Another example of this is Ledger. I don't think I spelled her name right. Whatever. But she used to be on Skillet. Used to. And, or actually, she sometimes is on Skillet. And guess what? She decided to do solo music. And, her first EP was fine with songs like Warrior. And, I'm not going to argue. This song's great, My Arms. It's a beautiful song. But guess what? It follows that same pattern, and I will bet you $1 million it will get radio play. Because while this song was good, Warrior, her song, and I forgot which one it was, got radio play. So I feel like she switched it up just so she can get constant radio play. Same thing with another Skillet song, Anchor. Skillet had a whole nother song. Now, I am definitely not throwing shade on this song because I absolutely love Anchor. It's a great song. It's probably my favorite song from their entire album. Anchor is beautiful and I listen to it a lot. But it's soft and surprisingly the only one that's been played on radio. This is the type of stuff I talk about. On radio, I remember Skillet used to play, Newsboys used to play, the crazy side of Newsboys. We used to have Reliant K, even sometimes some Lecrae playing. Guess what? That doesn't exist anymore. And it is because Christian music has become a little bit of a joke, honestly. Especially Christian radio. I mean, look at this. 90% of this stuff, besides Ty Brazzle and Lecrae here, is all very similar sounding. All very generic. And guess what? Again, no shade to Jeremy Camp. Love Jeremy Camp. But like Ren Collective, Stephanie Gretzinger, Jesus Culture, Mac Brock, The Belonging Co. These people all sound the same, and these people are what get radio plays. That's what they get, and that's what they'll have. And again, I have no problem with it. I don't think Gavi has a problem with it. But sometimes a radio needs to go beyond what they like playing. They need to be a little bit risky sometimes. Sometimes play those upbeat. Maybe even make another radio station, a sub-radio station. But just, we need to switch it up sometimes. That's why I love groups like Hillsong Young and Free. Because if you don't like Hillsong, you can go to Hillsong Young and Free, which is the upbeat part of them, still has the worship. And you know what? If there's a time where you're like, okay, I don't need that upbeat Hillsong stuff, you can go to Hillsong Worship and go, oh, well, there's Who You Say I Am, and those classic, very uninspired chords. But then you could go, hey, I want to listen to Hillsong again, Best Friends, which is a great song, by the way. But yeah, that's just the problem with Christian radio these days. Am I going a little bit too hard on Christian radio? Maybe. Maybe, am I right? Do I have a point in saying, hey, why don't they branch out? Maybe start a sub-radio station. I mean, honestly, if you got equipment and you want me to start a radio station, I swear, I would do it right here, right now. I would go to my garage, set up like a DJ booth or whatever, and make a radio station playing only the, Gavi, Lecrae, because there is so much Christian music out there that doesn't get played. I'm shocked by the amount. There's Chris Howland. There's Joel Vaughn. There's Landro, I forgot his name. I mean, technically there's NF. You can play certain Chance the Rapper songs. You can play, obviously, Gavi. There's Bizzle. There's SO. There's Capital Kings, or the old stuff from Capital Kings. There's Matthew Parker. You can even play some Owl City. You can even play little tiny hints of mainstream music here and there that's happy and positive and, all good stuff. But we can't be confined to one tiny little box, which is what I'm afraid that Christian radio has done. And that's Gavi's point. It's set up for us a very generic, stereotypical thing that everybody thinks that we as Christians are boring, bland, we like black and white, and that's it. But that's obviously not true. There are tons of Christian hip-hop fans. I'm sure there's tons of Christian fans who like hip-hop, EDM, pop, and, everything in between. I'm one of those people. I like everything in between. And I try to go through it. I try to find as much Christian as I can, but sometimes there's not enough. Okay, I hope you liked the video, guys. If you agree with me, then tell me down in the comments. And if you disagree, tell me down in the comments. Yeah, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, do all that nice stuff. And until next time, I'm still figuring out a way to say goodbye.